So in this video, we will try to understand the language issue, especially with regarding to the Zomato's recent controversy. So first, let us understand the controversy in itself.
Delivery giant Zomato is facing ire on social media after one of its customers in Tamil Nadu was asked to learn Hindi. The customer has alleged that a food delivery executive working for the company during a chat asked him to learn Hindi as it's the national language. The aggrieved customer shared the screenshots of the conversation on his Twitter handle, reigniting a debate on the language.
So as we can see, the Zomato's controversy has triggered two parallel debates in the country. First, with respect to imposition of Hindi, the same old debate of imposition of Hindi, which is being opposed by southern states. So that is the first issue. Second is being the issue of intolerance. Intolerance specifically coming with respect to the language, where in this case Zomato had sacked that employee who told their customers that everyone should know Hindi. So that was one issue of intolerance. But again, Zomato had to reinstate the employees, and he said they made an official statement that we love Tamil Nadu. So it's kind of acknowledgement of the diversity which the country has. So the overall issue with respect to the language and parallel debates which controversy arose. But apart from it, the constitutional position, if we have to understand with respect to national language, is that the framers of Indian constitution did not use the term national language. So this was purposefully and intentionally avoided. As we can see, the constitutional assembly debates, they mostly revolve around the parameters of operability and unifying the entire nation. That is, keeping in mind the operational issues involved in keeping a particular language in a state, and the aspect of maintaining the unity and integrity of the nation. This issue of not having a national language was decided by the constitutional framers. But why is language such a sensitive issue always? Is because language is linked to the economic as well as emotional aspects of a community and individuals. So language is related to the existence of individuals and the sustainability of communities. So it's very having close links to the economic aspect, the sustenance, as well as the emotive aspect, because most of the things which we learn in the upbringing belongs to the mother tongue. And for the sake of operability and the argument of unified India, as we just discussed, this existence cannot be compromised, and India's diversity and culture is the strongest glue that holds it together. So as we know, India is known for its unity and diversity. So this diversity is holding us together. So this we must strongly acknowledge. And imposition of Hindi or any other language is not required for the purpose of maintaining unity. So as we know, we are existing despite our diversity. So this is the uniqueness which India should cherish. Now coming to the linguistic plurality and diverse culture of India, as we know that as India avoided the issue of national language, we chose to keep Hindi and English as official language of India, and there are 22 languages which are listed in the 8th schedule of the constitution. But in terms of plurality, these numbers, that is 22 numbers, they hardly represent the vast majority of languages being spoken across the country. For instance, the People's Linguistic Survey of India mentions that there are over 700 languages. So roughly it is 780 to be exact. There are 780 languages across the country, the People's Linguistic Survey of India puts it. So also the People's Linguistic Survey of India mentions that the last 50 years alone, more than 220 languages have withered away. So this is the condition of the languages in the state of the country. So we are seeing languages getting extinct also. So administrative focus here should be towards reinforcing such numerous languages, boosting the linguistic diversity of the country, and more importantly, it is also towards preventing such languages from dying. Overall, the conclusion with respect to this issue on the issue of language has to be that India's diverse language and culture reflects its national character, because we are known for our diversity, be it across race, language, and religion. So this diversity and culture, it reflects our national character. So though Hindi has flourished over decades and the number of and proportion of speakers have increased, we must acknowledge the fact that a majority, that is more than 55% of Indians, don't have Hindi as their first language. So this is as per the 2011 census, And this fact is also acknowledged by government when it mentions recently that there will be no imposition of Hindi, and the three language formula will not become mandatorily implemented. So this is also mentioned in the latest national new education policy. Apart from it, the real challenge is to create space for hundreds of languages that characterize India, uh, and to revive the dying ones, as we just discussed, and let them flourish in a way that Hindi also flourished. So we must create space for multiple languages to thrive and also revive the dying languages. And recently, due to the technological and advances in digital domains, such technological developments can be used to leverage the promotion of all languages. So this has to be done. Languages has to be promoted, and so the concluding remark here can be that languages of India are one of its prized reflections of reality and are intrinsic to the way of life. So languages conform the reality, the reflection of reality, and they're intrinsic to a way of life, because it's ultimately part of culture. Culture reflects a way of living of any community or individual. So this should be the overall concluding stance with respect to the issue of language, and being it understanding from the constitutional position or understanding it from the economic emotive aspect, what the census says, and what the real challenge today is.